to Miss Rosie, I spotted Daniel sliding his pen behind Tiala. In one motion, she sat down and, with a deafening shriek, immediately bounced back up. The old hold the pen upright on the seat tree was awarded with a yelp every time, but not usually to that extent. Unfortunately for Daniel, and more so for Tiala, in his hurry to make his move, Daniel had forgotten to cap his pen. His fine Schaeffer platinum-tipped pen had pierced Tiala's bottom and was dangling from it. In a flash, Tiala's light grey skirt blotted wet with blue and red. Hearing her cry, Miss Rosie and a few other teachers came running. Bottoms up, she was carried off on a makeshift stretcher into a car, then to Kohima Civil Hospital. Upright, Daniel was escorted to the headmaster's office. And now this is a bit from Niloy, the other character. It's a continuation. Baba looked worried when I met him at the gate that afternoon, and quickly spilled the beans on the Tiala incident. I knew the barbaric games they played in Section B would get them in big trouble one day. It's kind of a school where, there are two sections. India's got a lot of people, so you can't, like class 3 or 4, every class would have different sections with 50, 60 kids in them. So, like this guy Niloy is in Section A, he's the blue-eyed boy of the school, so the toppers are in Section A, and the Section B guys are the kind of the backbenchers. So he has a bit of a thinking about the Section Bites. Once I asked Baba and Daniel what they found so interesting in that pen under sitting bottom game. Baba suggested I should start the game in my section, and then I'll know the fun I'm missing. But it was beyond my intelligence to see any possible fun in holding a pen against someone's bum. With my dad being a lawyer, he wanted to know how serious Daniel's stabbing crime was. Equipped with the knowledge of human anatomy from science class and my father's know-how at law, I had the scientific and legal sides covered. After listening to the grim story and looking at the matter from every angle, my verdict was simple. Daniel is in trouble, big trouble. If the nib of his pen went into Tiala's virginal tract, he might be charged with rape and jail. So now it's back to Baba after he gets his advice from Niloy. I didn't understand the science or the legal angle of Niloy's statement, but I didn't feel like having a conversation. So instead, I nodded and two gloomy faces walked home in silence. That evening, I couldn't shake my worry for Daniel, and my chance of doing any homework was zero. After flicking through my textbook, I picked up the Oxford English Dictionary and looked up the word rape. There were 4 different meanings. The one I thought came closest was rape, of a man forced another person to have sexual intercourse with him against their will. From that, I went looking for sexual intercourse. Sexual contact between individuals involving penetration, especially the insertion of a man's erect penis into a woman's vagina, culminating in orgasm and the ejaculation of semen. Penis? Pen? Were they the same thing? My knowledge of that part of my body was limited to 2 words. Momai, our family code name, and Laura, the Nagamese slang word used widely at school. So far, our science class had only covered female anatomy. When our science sir took a class vote on whether to start with the male or female anatomies, 28 boys in a class of 52 had voted unanimously. So in the absence of more thorough knowledge, I continued my word search. Orgasm, the climax of sexual excitement. Daniel had looked quite excited when Tiala sat on his bench, but not on his way to the headmaster's office. With a deep breath, I continued. Semen, the male reproductive fluid that ejaculates out of a penis at the climax of sexual excitement. I knew Daniel's pen had ejaculated some ink into her. Her skirt was blotted with ink and blood. I knew Daniel was in deep, deep trouble. Would he really go to jail like Niloy said? I was sad to lose my friend and classmate, and sadder to lose my partner in crime.
Yeah, right.